Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to show you how I prepare for my final exams as a college student, and I'll also be sharing some study tips that have worked for me over the years. So I hope you find this video helpful and let's get into it. This is how I stay on track. How I plan for exam is usually a 3-step process in my case, and I've been following this method or process I guess since second semester I would say, and now we're in the 5th semester, so clearly it has been working. Okay, step number 1 is pretty basic, but it is basically adding all the dates to my Google Calendar and adding a reminder. Now not only do I put in the exam dates, I also do put in any dates where I would be out of the house, I wouldn't be able to prepare or do any studying, because I feel like in both the semesters there's always days where I am going out, because in December to January exam season there is Prachi's birthday, my mom's birthday and Garima's birthday, then Christmas and New Year. And then for like the summer semester exams in May and June, it is my birthday, Pratham's birthday, so obviously there's a lot of celebrations in between studying, which I don't really mind, but sometimes it does throw me off the game a little. So I like to put in those dates on my Google Calendar as well, just so I can see what days I'm just not gonna be able to study and how I can compensate for them. So I will quickly put up my dates into Google Calendar, and also the days that there are birthdays and I'll be doing any prep or something like that. So that would be step number 1, but I feel like that is pretty self-explanatory, so let's move on to step number 2. Now step number 2 and 3 are the most important. I feel like step number 1 was pretty basic, but step number 2 is making a spreadsheet of all the syllabus for all of the subjects. This is the best way to give myself like a visual representation of how much there is to study, what I have studied, what I have not, what I really need to work on, and what I can leave. So I have a blank spreadsheet in front of me and we are going to set this up. So I'm gonna leave a few boxes and just start here. I'm gonna do date of exam, and then subject, chapter, topic, subtopic, important notes. I have my reading here. Now I will go through the syllabus and put that out. I will put on the chapters, then the topic, then the subtopic, and then any important notes that were told like in class, specifically some maybe important topics or important things to keep in mind for the exams. So I'm gonna go through this reading and note down everything, and then we will move on to what I can leave out, what I need to do in general, and what I really need to do, which is important. Okay, now that my spreadsheet is made, you can see that there is so much syllabus. I don't know when all of this was done in class. I only remember one unit being done, so that clearly says a lot about how much I need to study. But I'm gonna go through this once and also later in the coming days and mark out what I am going to leave out and not study. To the third step, which is setting up my Notion. This is where I'm going to take all the syllabus from the spreadsheet that we just made and delegate it across the entire month. So on my college tab here, as you can see, I have something called finance planning, and I just copy pasted it right here. I will make these into headings later. Then I duplicated it and I've edited the first week, so I'm gonna set it up with you. So this is how my layout looks. In the first week of December, I don't have any exams. My exams start in the second week of December. So here I just have 1st to 7th. Now since 1st and 2nd are gone, I am not going to put anything there. We are going to start from the 3rd up till the 7th. Now like I said that I don't have an exam this week, so we will be preparing for the exam that I have next week. Next week I have my exam on the 10th and then the next one on the 15th. So I have a good amount of gap between the two. Now my majors exam and my DSC are just one day apart, and there is so much syllabus for my DSC. 10th to 15th I have plenty of time to focus on history, so I'm not going to be working on history this week. This week I'm going to tackle up my DSC and my economics minor, which is my first exam. So I'm going to split the layout very quickly, and here I have my spreadsheet spreadsheet. So I will go back and forth between my minor syllabus as well as my DSC syllabus. I'm gonna put all of that over here for this week. Now, as you can see on Thursday, I have written Rani Bagh Market. Now, what I like to do is if I have any events, for example, like I told before, there's a lot of birthdays and a lot of events. So obviously I'm not gonna have time those days to be studying or be doing anything, or if not, or just have very limited time in general. So I like to mark those out as well, just so I can plan around them. Since I have to go to this market, this is not gonna take my entire day, so I can have the morning or at least a night session. But since it will take a chunk of my time, I'm not gonna add a lot of material to cover this day because I'm not gonna be able to give it that much time. I'm gonna quickly delegate my syllabus. I'm gonna sit and think about what I can get done based on the importance, for sure, because obviously if there are higher chances of a topic coming on my exam, I'm gonna give it more time than those topics which are least likely to come. So okay, so this is what we have. I have delegated eco minor and my DSC syllabus across these 5 days. Now this is actually so helpful because then I don't have to wake up and think like, oh, आज क्या पढ़ाई करनी है मैंने, what topic will I start today, what do I have to finish today, you know. This gives me such a good plan or structure. Actually, it just makes it so easy because it's like, okay, I woke up, I'm gonna check my Notion, and then I say, okay, for today, Wednesday the 3rd, this is all I have to do. So now I can see how much time this is gonna need, what all I need to do, how I'm gonna do it. For example, in between, let's say I have to go out for something or I have to go to the gym, then I can plan out, this is what I'm gonna do before I go to the gym, this is what I'm gonna do before I eat lunch, this is what I'm gonna do after. And I'm also not super rigid with it. Let's say for some reason, some impromptu plan or something came up, right? And I was not able to give it that much time, or maybe I was feeling sick, or maybe I got busy in something else. Then I can just delegate this to the next day and continue from there. I hope that made sense, but this is generally my go-to way. This helps me so much. It has never once failed me, and I really like this. It helps me study a lot. This is how I stay on track. A lot of you guys have also asked for like study tips and study advice, so this is coming from somebody who has given enough exams to know what she's talking about. Okay, well, enough semester exams and college exams. These are some things that I've just realized over the time of me giving exams, because trust me, I've had some really bad exams and some really good exams, so there's always something to learn from. So I'm just gonna share that with you. Active recall is actually very important, because see, the way I say active recall is self-testing using, let's say, flashcards or solving past year question papers. Now this shows you how much you have really studied and how much you've really memorized versus how much you have not. It is definitely uncomfortable and scary because it's like you really find out how far behind you still are despite whatever you have studied. But trust me, you do not want to find that out when you're giving the exam. You would rather just find it out much before, because exam में धप्पा अगर लगेगा तो बिल्कुल अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, बिल्कुल मजा नहीं है. As long as at least आप घर पे हो, आपके पास still time है पढ़ने के लिए, still material cover करने के लिए. So flashcards, previous year question papers, और what I also like to do is जो भी मेरे tests में questions पूछे गए हैं, I like to do those as well, because बहुत बारी वो exams में ही आए हैं, and maybe language में इधर उधर change होगा, या let's say numerical में they change the numbers and all, but for the most part test वाले questions भी आते हैं. So I would suggest you to give emphasis on that as well. Review questions are also important, because again review questions से ही exam questions बनते हैं, and past year question paper से ज़्यादा important तो frankly और कुछ भी नहीं है. No matter आप कितने अच्छे से पढ़ लो, अगर आपको question को answer करना नहीं आता, पढ़ाई का कोई point ही नहीं है. Okay, now this is something that I have not really followed through a lot up until now, at least, is prioritizing your sleep. Because I know, why sleep? Let's crack a Red Bull and let's study. I know, I get it, I have done it, but it is actually so bad for you. Coming from somebody who has experienced first-handedly the effects of staying up super late to study, the burnout, the sleep deprivation, I do not recommend that at all. Once in a while, when you are really short of time and you really have to cram something, I get it. But this is one goal of mine that I'm setting for myself this exam season, is to not have so many late nights and so many all-nighters, because it just does not do you well. And see, the thing is that sleep actually helps your memory. So if you're gonna mess up your sleep, you're messing up your memory. So I've read this a lot of time, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this, is studying before sleeping, like right before sleeping, is actually really good to recall and for your memory and for you to like really learn something. So what I'm also gonna be doing is whatever I study throughout the day, I'll make sure to revise it before I sleep, and we'll see how that works out. I think it will work out well. It does make a lot of sense, even scientifically, and yeah, we will be trying that. So I would also recommend you to do that as well. If you are short on time, let's say, for example, me, I have been working part-time this entire semester, and this entire semester has been just slow in general. We have not really had that many assessments that I would be studying all throughout the semester, which I have been usually, but because of that, I'm at the end of the semester and I have to study so much. So that gives me a much less time, right? That means that I'm not gonna be able to do 100% studying on all of the topics. So there is no point of me trying to cram it, because then क्या होगा कि मुझे कुछ चीजें अच्छे से हो जाएंगी या कुछ चीजें just नहीं होंगी. And trust me, आधी information याद करके भी कोई फायदा नहीं है, because जब लिखने की बारी आएगी तो लिख कुछ पाओगे नहीं. And this has happened with me and it is not fun, because like I know मैंने ये पढ़ा था, I know, but I don't know मुझे लिखना क्या है, because वो मुझे याद नहीं है. Don't do that. So you just really have to be like smart with planning these things. के हर topic important नहीं होता, but हर topic में important चीजें होती है. You have to go through your material and identify कि ठीक है, अगर मेरे पास 10 पेज पूरे टॉपिक के नहीं कर सकती मैं, बट उस 10 पेज में से 2 या 3 तो होंगे जिसपे क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, जो इम्पोर्टेंट है. अगर मैं उसको एटलीस्ट उतना अच्छे से कर लूँ, I'll have something to write. कुछ तो होगा लिखने के लिए. अगर आप बिल्कुल ही छोड़ दोगे, unless वो removed है syllabus, that's one thing, या unless उसकी गारंटी है कि वो क्वेश्चंस में नहीं आता, पेपर में नहीं आएगा, that is entirely one thing. Now with my exams, we usually have choices. So out of 10 questions, we have to do 8 or 7, or actually for our history exams, out of 8 questions, we have to do 4. But for those 4, we have to write a lot. So in that case, that comes to my benefit. I can actually leave out an entire chapter, because अगर उस पे question आया, I'll just leave that out. But then जो बाकी के चैप्टर है, I need to do them well enough ताकि मैं वो चैप्टर का क्वेश्चन छोड़ सकूं and दूसरे चैप्टर का क्वेश्चन अच्छे से लिख सकूं, ताकि मेरे को प्रॉपर मार्क्स मिले. Another thing that I really like to do is I like to start with the hardest of it all. Like whatever the heaviest chapter is, the hardest chapter is, be it because of theory or numericals or like a lot of content of information that I have to remember, I just like to start with that, because honestly in my case, when I start, that is where I am the most focused and I have the most willpower, like मेरे को पढ़ना है, you know. So I like to start off with that, and then when the time comes कि okay ये बहुत ज़्यादा हो रहा है, बहुत difficult हो रहा है, या मेरे से let's say, because बहुत बारी हुआ है when I'm studying maths, ठीक है, and I'm trying to solve this one numerical, but I just literally cannot. I don't know, बस उसका आंसर ही नहीं आ रहा. I let it be, because I just spent a good chunk of my time studying that actually. But now my willpower is basically gone, because it's like, why can't I answer this one numerical? That is where I shift and move on to the next subject, a different subject, not the next topic, a different subject, just so my brain can ease into it, because I'm like, okay, this numerical was too difficult, let's do a different subject. I would pick something theory, sometimes history or even economics, just theory, and do that, because comparatively it is easier. It is a different subject, so I don't have to use so much of my brain that I just spent trying to figure out that numerical. Do not sleep on breaks, guys. अगर ब्रेक नहीं लोगे तो आपने जितना भी पढ़ा, जितना भी अभी लिखा, उसका कुछ पॉइंट नहीं है. And honestly, I'm gonna be very frank, because even I used to think कि okay, ब्रेक लेनी है, मेरे को फोन चलाना है, मेरे को रील्स देखनी है, मेरे को ये सब देखना है, because ब्रेक ही तो है, ब्रेक में you're supposed to relax, right? But the more I read about it, and frankly the more I experience it, I've noticed myself, the more I scroll, I don't feel relaxed, because it's like there's so many reels I watch, there's so much happening in other people's life, it just does not relax me. It makes me feel hyper in a sense कि oh, that person is doing so much, let me get back to me doing so much really quickly. But that was not the point, you know, like I don't know how to explain it. It just does not relax me. So instead, take a break, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or maybe half an hour. It depends on how long you were studying, right? Do something other than your phone. Talk to your friends, FaceTime your friends, continue watching a series or a movie, read a book, and most importantly, please walk. Just in your room, 5-6 chakkar laga. Koi baat nahi, because sitting is not good for your health and it will give you so much back pain. So sitting for long hours is generally not good. So just go around your house, take a walk, or you can go outside, maybe go for a run, maybe go for a jog, just go for a walk. You can call your friends while you are on a walk, or you can read and just relax, okay? Truly relax. Don't be on your phone, because it is not relaxing, and also don't be on YouTube watching vlogs, because that's also not relaxing. One like fail-proof way that really helps me memorize things and really understand concepts, materials and everything is when I'm teaching the content to an imaginary friend, imaginary audience, because see, when you're explaining things to somebody, you will break it down in the easiest way. That way you are encoding that in your head as well. My table is basically it is a whiteboard. You know, it has a whiteboard surface, so I have whiteboard markers. Especially in maths, in graphs, this is how I do graphs. I will teach that graph to somebody. Like, I'm in a class, I have a class, I'm teaching that class. Literally, that will be me. That is how I truly understand how this graph was made. Because for me, let's say when I'm teaching my class, I have to tell them why this graph is being made, what does this graph actually show, what is being on the x-axis, what is on the y-axis, why is it there, why does the curve go down or why does it go up, why is it steep, why is it flat, all of that. So me teaching them helps me understand as well, oh, why is this happening, how am I actually supposed to draw it. This is how I remember. And for the last few tips, they're just small little things that you can do. For example, when you don't have your notes and everything in hand, maybe test yourself randomly. Like, just randomly be testing yourself. Maybe you are commuting or something. Just randomly think, try to recall. Let's say I'm sitting here and I'm gonna sit and think about what is a competitive market. Now I'm gonna sit and recall everything I know that happens in a competitive market, and then later, once I get to the material, I'm gonna check, okay, मेरे को इतना याद था, मेरे को इतना याद नहीं था. It's just a good way to kind of reflect. And another would be to try to switch your locations when you are studying, because it gets boring, it gets monotonous. It is very understandable. Obviously, my primary study space is my table, but sometimes I'm on my bed. Especially during winters, I'll be in my bed when I'm tired of sitting on my chair because it is not the most comfortable for my back. So I'll be in my bed, I'll have my bed table set up and I'll study in my bed. Or I will just entirely shift from this room, I'll be in my dining room on my dining table, I'll be studying there. Or I'll end up at some cafe, because why not? Once in a while, cafe studying is super fun. Once in a while, getting a coffee and a bun doesn't sound so bad. These are the things that I have done over the course of my 4 semesters now, for exams, for tests, and they've definitely worked. And there's like a lot more, but these are honestly the ones that actually helped and actually worked in my case. I know they're not super different, but like at the end of the day, you just really have to study because you have to score well. Personally, I'm somebody who loves studying. I just hate when I have like a lot of pressure that, oh, I need to study for a mark or a grade, you know. But I mean, I also do really love seeing that A+ or A or outstanding next to the subject. So it really depends on how you perceive studying as. If you see it as a liability, I don't think it's going to be a very fun ride for you to study. You will just be studying for the grade, which basically everybody does. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, if you see it as a liability, you'll only study for the grade. But if you really enjoy studying and you really want to learn the material, then you will actually put in the effort, truly the effort, to understand that material and then also score well. These are my tips that I would give you. I hope this was helpful.